If you are trying to start a business in the US, you've probably already found out how complicated it is to do it all yourself. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to form an LLC with Doola from anywhere in the world step by step, and more importantly, which options matter, which ones you can skip, and how to avoid the most common mistakes first-time founders make. And make sure you watch this video until the end, because the last step is where people accidentally add up to $300 in unnecessary upgrades without realizing it. Now I'll show you how to avoid that. So first, I'm going to quickly go over the pricing and what actually matters. So before we click anything, let's just quickly take a look at the pricing. So on their website, if we head over into pricing right here, you will see their plans. So you have, I need a new business, I have a business, most people want a new business. Now Doola has 3 plans: starter, total compliance, and business in a box. The starter plan gives you everything you need to form your LLC legally, including LLC formation, getting your EIN number, operating agreement, registered agent, and virtual mailbox. Now here's the thing most people miss. Those last 2 items, registered agent and virtual mailbox, usually cost $350 plus per year from competitors. Doola bundles them together for $297, so you start the year already ahead. So the obvious question, do you really need the more expensive plans? Most people don't, unless you want Doola to handle ongoing bookkeeping and filing for you. You can always upgrade later, so I recommend starting with starter. Now, if you're outside the US, Doola is one of the few services that includes everything that foreigners need. So this alone makes it a better fit than about 80% of competitors. Now I'll go over creating your account. So first, what you want to go and do is click on create free account. Now here you can either sign up with Google or enter your details manually. So for example, I'll just sign up with Google. Then it will ask for your country of residence. So this is a tiny detail, but here's why it is important. Doola works for both US and non-US founders, and the setup flow adjusts based on your location. So just gonna select where you are located, and then click on next. Then it will ask you how they can help you, so just select form a new business. Next, you need to make the decision between LLC and C Corp. Now here's when 99% should pick LLC. So Doola gives a quick explanation here of the LLC versus C Corp. Most beginners overthink this. I would say if you're running a coaching business, in any kind of online business, an agency, an e-commerce store, content, or YouTube business, then LLC is almost always the right choice. If you're building a venture-backed startup, that's when a C Corp makes sense. So why this matters? Filing the wrong entity type can increase your taxes by thousands. So stick with LLC unless you know you need a C Corp. Now, if you want, you can book in a demo with them to be entirely sure, but pretty much everyone will need an LLC. So they also have this quiz right here that you can just take. So take the quick quiz if you're not sure, but I'm going to go with LLC and click next. Then they will ask what your desired company name is. So here just enter whatever you would like your company to be named. So for example, I'll say Software Scope and click next. Then they will ask, where do you want to file your LLC? Now by default, it will set it to Wyoming because it's the cheapest and just the easiest. You can set it to a different state, but I would just keep it to the default one if it doesn't really matter to you. So I'll just keep it to Wyoming, that's the one they recommend, and they recommend it for simplified formation, lower annual operating costs, and flexibility. So from here, click next. So now we can actually pick the plan, and we talked about the plans earlier. So the starter plan, total compliance, and business in a box. Again, most people don't really need the total compliance or business in a box. You can read what is included and see if it's valuable for you, but it is pretty expensive. So you can also just get the basic starter plan. But if you don't want to handle tax, legal, and regulatory rules, then the total compliance plan may be worth it, but it does come at a price tag of 6 times higher. So for this example, I'll just be going with the starter plan. So from there, click on next. Then it will give you an option for expedited EIN filing. Basically, that means they will get your employer identification number faster. So if you need it very quickly, you can add this on. But as you can see, it is $300. In my opinion, the extra couple of days is worth $300 for waiting. So I'll just not add this as an add-on. Now, it can take up to 8 weeks on average for the company to be formed. and you can get your EIN number from the IRS up to 2 weeks faster, so it would still take on average 6 weeks. So you can add this if you want, I'm not going to. So from there again, click next. Then you will have an overview. So your company with the preferred name, your entity type, your state. Then here you will see your plan. So I have starter, and the state fee for Wyoming is $103.75. Now there are cheaper states out there such as Delaware, but overall those do cost more eventually because it is harder to actually manage your business in those states. Now there are also other states that may be cheaper. For example, Arkansas is only $45, but Wyoming again is recommended because it's easier to manage your taxes. There is no corporate income tax or annual franchise tax. So overall this is probably the best option in my opinion. So make sure all of this is correct, and if this is exactly what you want, then just scroll down and click on this box. By doing this, you confirm the accuracy of the provided information. Then you can click on confirm. Now that will take you to checkout. So for me right here, it's $326.50 and I got a 25% Black Friday discount. That won't be available year round, but if you click on the link down in the description, you can claim the best deal that is currently available. So whenever there is a discount, you can claim it through the link down in the description, and otherwise it won't be more expensive to you. Now here we have checkout. And for the payment method, what you can do is click subscribe. So now here at checkout, you can just select your payment method and actually go ahead and pay for it. So to do that, if we look right here, you can pay with card, or in this case, Google Pay. That may be because of my country, so it can be different for you. Now again, currently there is a 25% discount running because of Black Friday. But when this is not there, then of course you will not get this discount. Now I can still get you a 10% discount, and that is if you apply my code, which is HTS10. So I'll spell it out right here. This right here is the code you can use to get 10% off of any payment you do year round. So just going to enter that if there isn't a different promotion already running. Now after you do your payment, Doola will show you a free startup training for beginners. This is worth watching later, especially if you need a checklist for logos, domains, bank accounts, and more. Now next we need to enter the business details. So this is where you enter stuff like the industry you're in, your business description, so what you will be doing, your registered agent preference, just choose Doola, it is included. Then you can choose your virtual mailbox, also included. And here's a tip, even if you have a physical address, using a virtual business address keeps your personal info private. So I recommend doing that. Next, you can add members, so the ownership percentages and designation of the responsible party. Now here's something that most people get wrong here. The responsible party does not make someone financially responsible. It's just the IRS needing one point of contact. Then for your EIN, even if you don't have an SSN, so if you're a US person, enter your SSN so Doola can get your EIN faster. If you don't have a social security number, just leave it blank. Doola can still get your EIN manually. And this is a huge advantage over most competitors, and it's why so many global founders pick Doola. So then you want to do the final review and sign the IRS forms. So review your details, sign the SS4, sign the 8821, and these allow Doola to get your EIN. You can then download your signed forms too. Then just click submit. Then from there, the final section is inside of your dashboard. So the Doola dashboard shows stuff like your LLC formation progress, the EIN progress, additional services, deals to Shopify, Grasshopper, Omnisend, etc. And there's also a services tab where you can add bookkeeping or tax help later if you need it. Now this is also where people accidentally add extra services they don't need. So if you're unsure, just stick with the basics for now. You can always upgrade later. So that's how you can set up your LLC using Doola. If you want more videos like this and deeper breakdowns of which tools to use for your business, subscribe to this channel. And again, you can click the link down in the description to take you to Doola. And from there, you can enter code HTS10 in order to get 10% off at checkout. So if this video helped you set up your LLC with Doola from anywhere in the world, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.